Hello. For today's Bob's Briefs, we're going to be talking about valuation additions and exclusions to the price paid or payable for imported merchandise into Canada and the United States. We have seen an increase of audits in both Canada and the United States related to these issues. In Canada, the main focus seems to be on apparel and footwear, given the high rates of duties, for the most part 18%, associated to these products. This industry is also a focus in the United States. The average duty rate for textiles is 16%, and 40% of the duties collected by Customs Border Patrol were generated in this area. For customs purposes, the value of imported merchandise is the price actually paid or payable for the merchandise when sold for exportation, plus amounts equal to the packing costs incurred by the buyer, any selling commissions incurred by the buyer, the value apportioned as appropriate for any assist. An assist would be items such as materials, components, tooling, and similar items that the buyer of imported merchandise provides free of charge or at a reduced cost for use in the production or sale of merchandise for export to Canada or the United States. It must be noted that the cost of transportation to move the assist to the seller must also be taken into consideration when determining the value to be added to the transaction. Engineering, development, artwork, and plans and sketches that are undertaken outside of Canada for Canada purposes and outside of the United States for US purposes and are necessary for production of the imported merchandise, it must be noted that these charges will not be treated as an assist if the service or work is performed by a person domiciled within the United States or Canada, or performed while a person is acting as an employee or agent of the buyer of the imported merchandise. Examples of charges that do not need to be added included in the value include buying commissions. These are charges for the benefit of the buyer as well, and if identified separately from the price actually paid, any reasonable cost or charge that is incurred for construction, erection, assembly, or maintenance of, or the technical assistance provided with respect to the merchandise after its importation. Another focus as of late with Canada Border Services Agency is dealing with royalties and license fees. One particular case involves a royalty contract with Disney and the right to distribute or resell product. In order for a royalty or license fee to be added to the value for duty purposes, 3 factors must be considered. It must be a royalty or license fee. In the instant case with one of our clients, it is considered a royalty as the products being produced are of Disney characters, and they must pay them based on the number of units sold. It must be in respect to the goods, and again, no issue, and it must be a condition of sale. In other words, Disney can terminate the agreement if you do not pay. Our contention with Canada Border Services agencies with this agreement is that the supplier will still sell the product regardless if they do not pay the royalty. Lawyers currently are reviewing the wording to ensure there is no wording in the contract indicating the agreement is void should they not pay. And now for this session's question. We had a situation a few years back with a client who were importing apparel with NHL logos on them. They were required to pay the National Hockey League $1 for every article sold. Before they initiated contracts with their makers, the NHL needed to approve the product before they were sold. Were they dutiable, and why? Thank you for watching.